Many MMA coaches had a career in combat sports before they transitioned into the mentoring role. But for UFC welterweight Mike Malott, it was the reverse. The Canadian found success as a coach at the highest level before focusing his attention on pursuing his own UFC career. The journey seems to be paying dividends, with Malott becoming one of the most promising contenders to come out of the Great White North. For more on this story, we visit Burlington, Canada in this edition of Fighter Focus.
The UFC's return to the Great White North is officially upon us.
When the UFC comes to Canada, it creates these massive resurgences in Canadian MMA. I want Canadian MMA to rise back to greatness, to the level we were at when George St. Pierre was at his peak and in his prime. I want to get back to that. I grew up in Ontario, Canada. Our family was big on sports, so grew up playing hockey like most Canadian kids, wanting to play in the NHL and wanting to be a hockey superstar. Realized one day that I kind of suck at hockey, so it wasn't in the cards for me. We were all really competitive with one another growing up. My youngest sister, she plays rugby. Lauren was the star figure skater, and Jeff was killing it on the ice. We're all pretty athletic, all kind of found different sports that we gravitated towards. Somewhere around 13 or 14, I started training MMA. I remember watching it on TV and absolutely loving it. One in particular, UFC 53, it's called Heavy Hitters. Probably have watched that DVD like 100 times. David Loiseau, spinning back kick, Charles Chainsaw McCarthy, Andrei Arlovsky win by TKO, Rich Franklin win his middleweight title for the first time against Evan Tanner. I fell in love with fighting, and I knew my goal was to go to the UFC. I didn't have any proof as to how I was going to do it, and I was a little bit, honestly, delusional at the time, but it kind of worked out. I moved down to Sacramento to Team Alpha Male at 23 years old. I had watched a lot of those guys fight in the UFC. I put a lot of pressure on myself to perform in the room.
No, past 3 people.
So I don't know if I got burnt out, lost the passion, whatever it was. It was like I wasn't in love with the sport as a competitor. So I called Faber and told him, you know what, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I think I'm done. He's like, well, you're really technical. You know the team, you know the fighters. Like, do you want to try and coach? Like, yeah, sure, why not? Right off the bat, a bunch of the guys are like, oh, hell yeah, do you want to corner me in this fight? Do you want to corner me in that? Learning the game from an outside perspective as a coach and seeing how guys prepared for fights and helping them prepare. And I've made about 30 walks to the UFC cage. That's invaluable experience.
Oh my goodness.
Cornering Uriah Faber in Sacramento when he came out of retirement to fight Ricky Simone was so cool. We're waiting for his song to come on. We're bouncing the back. They're like, all right, we're going to count you down when to start walking. Camera comes on in 3, 2, 1, and then the building starts vibrating. Everybody's screaming, and Faber just starts getting his swagger bounce on. And it's like, dude, this is sick for him.
At 40 years old, Uriah Faber, it's like he never left.
That's it.
Hands high, let's move.
It was like a 50-second knockout or something.
Simone is down. Oh my God, that's who he is. Beltran steps in. It is a TKO. The California Kid.
It's kind of a picture-perfect moment. Cornering the last several fights, I was like, this is amazing. But I also wish I was the one getting in there. I think I just needed some time off competing to get hungry again. When I got the call for Contender Series, I just burst into tears. You know, I couldn't believe it was happening. Like, I was so excited.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
A month prior, my brother had gotten the call to sign with the Winnipeg Jets. It just felt like a cool parallel for us, where he got the call to the NHL and I got the call to the UFC.
Yeah, if I had a message, man, it's just go out there and make the most of this. Soak it all up and enjoy how much has gone into this and go out there and kick ass.
by way of Waterdown, Canada, now fighting out of Sacramento, California. Team Alpha Male, here is Mike Malott.
The weekend he played a preseason NHL game, scored a goal, got an assist, and got the second star of the game. And then 2 days later, I fight on Contender Series.
Malott from an athletic family. His brother Jeff was signed this summer by the Winnipeg Jets. Wow, right into a submission attempt after a big swing and a miss from Malott.
That's a tight.
Is he out?
Right there.
No.
Oh, he's got it. No, it's
He's
tight.
cranking on it. There's the
Yep.
tap. He's tapping.
Wow.
That'll do it.
That's tight.
Mike Malott inside of a minute.
Crazy.
Not only get a submission win and get signed to the UFC, his number in hockey is 39, and I won in 39 seconds. It's been divine timing for my brother and I.
As promised, this guy is dangerous.
I loved my time in Sacramento, and I loved those guys, but I was homesick the entire time I lived there. I wanted to move home to Canada the whole time. In order to create and be creative, we have to feel at peace and we have to feel happiness. And I think the fights speak for themselves as evidence for that idea. UFC 273. It felt amazing being the one fighting. This is finally happening. Like, I'm getting to fight in the UFC, and I walked out there and it was the biggest crowd I'd ever fought in front of.
Entered Mike Malott. He was enjoying life as a coach, but the passion was reignited, and he has been on a roll to get here tonight. He was so obsessed with getting to the UFC early that he burnt himself out, but coaching really reignited that fire, and now he gets to go and make this official UFC debut, and the guy is very well-rounded. Mike Malott!
You ready? You ready? Go!
Mike Malott out of the southpaw stance in red, Mickey Gall in the black trunks. Nice combination. Oh! Malott with a massive lead. Gall is out. How's that for a debut? Proper Mike Malott.
Got the first round knockout, and you really couldn't have written it much better than that.
I've been waiting for this moment since 2005. I was just some kid in Waterdown, Ontario, Canada, with a stubborn dream of fighting in this cage with no proof that I was gonna do it, and here I am anyway.
Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Here we go. Fight on move.
It felt amazing to walk out to UFC 289 in Canada, in Vancouver, and feel the reception of Canadian MMA fans.
Let's go, baby. Your night. Okay. Your night. Let's go, baby. Your night.
They're like, all right, 3, 2, 1, let's walk. And I start walking toward them, and I feel the people lean forward to high five. I start kind of high fiving, then I feel them really lean forward, and I feel somebody kind of lean on my shoulder. I'm like, these people are falling on me. So I dart out of the way, and the whole left side of the railing all fell. Luckily, fast enough for it to not do any damage. Oh my God, they almost just landed on me. Like, what if I hadn't made it to the cage? Like, that could have been it. Once I got past the railing, I was like, you have a job to do? And that was when it really like shifted. Like, they provided me with fuel, and I'm like, well, I have to return the favor.
Big pop. DC, as we look for one of these 16 Canadian athletes on this roster to take the torch, perhaps Mike Malott can be that guy. Oh my goodness. Sharp, right on the neck.
Oh, guillotine. Oh, that's that alpha male guillotine.
That's
It's
tight,
tight.
guys.
That's real
that's
tight.
really tight.
Oh, he's moving.
That's it. Proper Mike Malott, backing up the words with action. He finishes Adam Dugan.
6 for 6 for Canadians that night, so it felt like it was a win for me, but it was much more a win for Canada and Canadian MMA.
So the finishing rate remains 100% for one of the best Canadian prospects in the world.
I feel like it really kickstarted the resurgence of Canadian MMA, like letting everybody know we're here.
Hey, let's set one thing straight about tonight. This show is for us. This was a Canadian show.
Representing Canada on the world stage is my passion now, is my fuel. That's my why. We're ready to storm the gates.